And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
Well, hello to everyone. For everyone that is listening to us not for the first time, thank you for coming back. And for all of the new listeners, we hope that you will enjoy the show. We got a lot to talk about. There's some fights coming up. There is a very good main event with RDA taking on Mr. Fiziev. That's going to happen. A whole lot of things going on in the combat sports world that is not part of MMA, and we're going to talk about that stuff too. My man, Josh Thompson, is up early, ready to give all of that brilliance. Brilliance, I tell you. Okay,
yes.
Maybe not.
Yeah, no, whoa. You know it's nothing but brilliance here. I mean, you know, I got a pretty high fight IQ, and I mean, my real IQ is
a very
not
high
that
fight
but...
IQ. It's life IQ that we got to talk about.
Yeah, we're working on that. It's always a work in progress. You know, I'm always trying to refine my craft. I don't know what my craft is just yet now, but I'm still working on it. It's
a hell of a craft, though.
The main event is fantastic for the UFC. It should be a fantastic fight. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from RDA because he's a stud, he's a savage, he's all of these things.
Done it all.
If he's going to try to stand, and I don't know how, like, RDA's wrestling is not the greatest either. It's okay. It's like maybe 1-2 transition takedowns, but Fiziev's got good hips. He's fast and explosive, and he's going to be hard to take down. You know, so it's going to be one of those fights. And I know Dave wanted us to talk more about more stuff before we got into this main card. So I'm going to actually talk to you first before we get into the main card. See, I psyched all you guys out.
Boy, you pulled it in, then you dropped it off.
I did.
You just all over the place.
I left you guys wanting more. That's what good people do. That's what these good podcast people do. We get you guys reeled in, wanting more, and then I stop it and I go the other direction. It's called misdirection. John,
you screwed up my notes.
You screwed up on what?
You screwed up my notes.
Your notes? I love it. Because Dave's actually really trying to make an effort with the timestamps.
He's doing a great job.
Is he really? Because I read the comments when you guys don't. I read the comments, and the comments are like, "Man, what the hell are these?"
People used to put comments like, "Josh picks nose at 7 minutes and 43 seconds."
I love it.
I'm not doing all that crap. You kidding?
Why not? Come on, man.
Last thing I need is to tell people.
When I used to do this, they'd be like Josh versus cauliflower ear. It was great. I loved it. That was who did that? Packy did that. Packy. Yeah, he did that. Whatever happened to him, Dave?
As far as I heard, he went out one day. He was walking down the street, and this big Labrador chased him down an alleyway, and he fell down one of those trap doors. You know, like where you drop the kegs down into like the bar underneath the bar in New York and stuff like that. And he fell down one of those, and it was like this old building that wasn't used anymore. And when he fell down, the ground was just so broken that he fell right through, and he came out the other side in China. And he came out in China.
Why was I even listening? I was listening to him like I was gonna go. Legit. Are you kidding me? This is one of those stories that it's like, oh, there's no fucking way. And now I know there's no fucking way.
You motherfucker! You got me on that one.
He did this.
I was like,
talk about reeling somebody in.
This was good. That was like, I was like, wow, that's crazy. This sounds like it's out of a movie that he came through in China. No, I did.
The worst part is I actually believed he was kind of telling me, and I was like, a Labrador?
Yeah,
running from a Labrador?
Labrador. No, I did hear, though, that he got COVID really bad. A bunch of people in the comments said, hey, I'm friends with him. Yeah, he got COVID really bad. He was in the hospital for a while. So I don't know if that's true, but if Packy's out there, man, we want you to at least come back and visit us every once in a while. Throw a comment in there, man. We miss you. So you did a much better job at the timestamps than Podcast Day, but you know. So, but
at least made it relevant.
What?
Your
Packies were so awesome.
Your timestamps are relevant. Your stories suck.
Yeah, that was mean. That was vicious, bro. You fucking had me. You had me at hello. Yeah, you had me at hello. All right. So, okay. So, John, let's jump right into, never mind. Let's go into some pride talk from way back in the day. No, let's jump into the main event. Let's go. Rafael Dos Anjos versus Rafael Fiziev. This show's brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Guess what? MyBookie's got a new offer for your first initial deposit. You have to just spend your winnings one time. You hear me? One time. Now, you know on all these gambling sites, right? You've got to spend your money multiple times to actually be able to withdraw your money. Now they're telling us one time if you use the promo code weighing in, you go into MyBookie.ag, use that promo code weighing in. You just got to reuse your winnings one time, and they will let you draw your money out after those bets. That is a great deal. Also, when you use our QR code right over there at mybookie.ag and our promo code weighing in, they will give you a little extra spending cash with your first initial deposit, okay, based on how much money you deposit. So if it's based off of that, you guys go in balls deep, as I like to say. Go in balls deep on it. And when you do that, get a little extra money up to $1,000. They'll give you a little extra spending cash for your first initial deposit when you use our promo code weighing in at mybookie.ag. I mean, should be a barn burner of a fight, but I could potentially see it being a boring fight.
No. I don't see
you
that
don't think so? You don't think so? No, wait. Let me remind you. Paul Felder, RDA.
That's exactly what I'm looking at. But
yeah, and RDA
that wasn't boring. Hold on.
What takedown city?
Well, hold on. I want you to remember. I know this is hard for you to go back this far, but we'll say 5 minutes ago, you were talking about RDA. Oh, is he actually going to try for takedowns? And I'm like, hello, he knows who he's fighting, and look at what he did with Paul Felder. He just consistently went after the takedown, put him in a bad spot, took the rounds. And people can sit there and say, "Oh, that was a boring fight." It wasn't. It was a technical, beautiful display of a guy that is a complete mixed martial artist, taking a guy who's really dangerous in one area and completely taking him out of it for most of the fight. That's smart. I like that kind of fighting. I'll watch that any day, and I think RDA is going to try to do that with Fiziev. The real question is, can he get Fiziev down? I would honestly say that, Fiziev and Felder in their defensive wrestling, pretty close. Pretty close. Felder's not bad with his defensive wrestling.
He's not.
And Fiziev's not bad, but RDA was able to take him down. The real question is, differences in people, differences in strength, differences in time. Maybe he doesn't get him down, but I think he will at times. The real question is, how much damage can Fiziev do when they're on the feet? And Fiziev is freaking good on the feet.
Mm. Yeah, he's gonna be able to do some damage on the feet. Can you finish him how Eddie Alvarez finished him though? Hit him with different types of uppercuts, left hooks. You can be able to finish him that way. Or when a fight hits the ground, this is what I think. When the fight hits the ground, how does Fiziev react?
Yes.
Does he turn and give his back? Does he get in the turtle position? Does he have the basic defense to get his back to the fence and work his way up? How is he when he gets taken down on the open mat? Does he panic if the fence isn't nearby? These are all questions that need to be answered. Look, we're all high on Fiziev because
these are all questions that will be answered.
The reason why we're high on him though, John, is because the UFC has done him. This is the way that they've done these type of fighters. They have matched them up to have entertaining fights against stand-up fighters.
Yep.
That's it. Like we haven't seen him fight a top-level wrestler. Bobby Green can wrestle, but Bobby Green didn't wrestle because Bobby Green don't wrestle.
Hello.
Bobby Green can wrestle like a mother. He just chooses not to all the time. He just doesn't do it. And let's be fair. Yeah, that fight was close. It was a good fight.
It was a great fight.
It was a close fight. Now RDA,
and in the third round, Bobby Green, in my opinion, was he was taking it. He was taking over a little bit.
Yeah.
This is going to be 5 rounds. We've never seen Fiziev have to go 5 rounds. We've seen RDA have to go 5 rounds a lot. We know he can do that. We know that he can keep that same pace. We know he's always in shape. That's not going to be a problem for him. Will it be a problem for Fiziev? It may be. It may not.
I think it will be. You want to know why? Because I don't think he's going to be able to wrestle for 5 rounds. And the wrestling mixed in with the striking is going to have him to slow down. because Bobby Green didn't wrestle a whole lot. It was like, I think, a shake and a takedown or two, but not really that much emphasis on it.
He didn't.
If I'm trying to recall back properly. So he never, and he still got tired in the third round, where you could say Bobby Green won that third round. Look like, so if I'm looking at these fights, if I'm looking at this fight right now, RDA wrestles him a little bit in the first 2 rounds. If he can survive the first 2 rounds, I think Fiziev starts to slow down with a little bit more wrestling, and then RDA starts to take over. Those championship rounds, being a former champion, he's trained for 5-round fights for over a decade now. He understands what it's like. And so Fiziev's going to have his hands full with someone with this much experience if he can't get him out of there in the first 2 rounds. I think Fiziev's got the potential to knock him out. He's got the potential to put a beating on him and make him take so much damage that he's not the same fighter after the second round or the first or second round, whatever it is, so the takedowns don't come as fluidly. Those are all things that could potentially happen. When I say this fight could end up being boring, I mean that RDA could just take him down easily, and the sooner he gets takedowns, the harder it will be for Fiziev to fight back as the fight goes on. And you could just see RDA slowly running away with this and then not taking chances, just getting takedown after takedown and just being comfortable with being on top. And just a little bit of damage, Now, if the submission comes, it comes. If the knockout or the ground and pound on it comes and the finish comes, that's great. But would someone like him be willing to take a chance, knowing that he's kind of already back in? RDA is kind of in that mix again of, say, what, number 5, number 6, somewhere in there, 7. He's in the mix in that 6-7 air range in terms of his chance of getting back to a title. And time is against him. Yeah. He's trying to get back up there as soon as possible. Now, I don't know if he's got another title run in him, but he's at number 7 right now. Him and Dariush, him and Chandler, him and Gaethje, maybe, if he wins this fight, him and Gaethje might be a possibility because Gaethje's already fought a couple times for the title and came up short. I mean, it would be a barn burner of a fight, the two of them. So when I'm having this conversation about this fight, it really comes down to how RDA fights it and how many times he can get the takedowns and how early he can get the takedowns. And it's no disrespect, John. I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I tell people that it potentially could be a boring fight. RDA could get takedowns so easily that he ends up on top going, look, these are too easy. I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to do some work, ground and pound, slow him down. And if I get another one, just keep taking him down. And until he gives me his back. And how does Fiziev react? If he just stays in guard or he stays in half guard and takes the damage and never tries to do anything to get back up to his feet, then we may end up with a boring fight.
Not going to happen.
Okay.
It's going to be a good fight.
John, I hope you're right.
I predict this is going to be actually a very interesting fight. I thought the Paul Felder fight, although, look, Paul got beat, but he was fighting the whole time. And there were moments there where you went, Paul starts to let go on stuff, and RDA then goes and gets him into the clinch or actually landed good stand-up, because RDA stand-up is not bad. It's not good. Like it's bad.
No.
It's good. It's just that looking at this matchup, you go, that's not the place for him to win this fight, so he should be taking it to the ground. I actually think this is going to be a really good matchup. I think it's going to be a fun fight. It's interesting to see where is Fiziev at, because we all know how good he is in the stand-up. Mm-hmm. We're now going to find out how good is that takedown defense and how good is he at getting himself back to his feet if someone does take him down that knows how to keep him down.
But I'm going to go back to the Paul Felder fight against RDA. I believe Paul Felder took that fight on short notice. I want to say it was like 10 days or something like that.
Totally.
He was training for a triathlon, so he thought he was going to be in good enough shape to do it, which he was in phenomenal shape. He just wasn't in wrestling shape.
It's not in fight shape.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yes. No, you could say he was in fight shape. He wasn't even breathing hard.
No. Fight shape is wrestling and having your arms not blow up right away.
Yeah.
It's tough.
All right, I'll let you have that. That could be a 10-9 round. I'll give you that 10-9 round comment. I gave it to you.
Okay,
right?
Thank you for giving it to me.
You got to build them up now, because I'm going to just blow you out in 10-7 rounds later on.
You took that round off. I got you.
I got you.
You Robbie Lawler.
This should be a good fight. I agree, and I hope you are right that it ends up being very entertaining. Okay. I think Fiziev will make it entertaining on the feet, and I think it's up to RDA to look for the finish on the ground and not just be comfortable with just being on top. That's where my concern is, being like understanding, like, look, these takedowns are coming easier, or he's not really making an effort to get back to his feet. So I'm just going to grind this out, cause some damage, and then start of the second round. Hopefully I wear him down enough to get an easier takedown in the next round and the next round after that. And just keep rinse, wash, repeat. Keep doing the same shit over and over, because if it ain't broke, fucking I ain't fixing it. Get my win.
That's it.
All right?
That's
John, I'm going to be honest.
Go ahead.
The rest of this card, is I mean, they just had a good, 4th of July weekend with the fights. They had a good, good fight card. There was some fights that really lived up to the potential and some that came up short. But overall, the card was a stacked card on paper, and most of them showed out. And so that's what you want from a good fight card. But when I look at this fight, when I look at this card, there's only a couple fighters on here that I feel like Saad Nurmagomedov, and I'm not being biased because I've only met him I think one time, and I don't know if he's related to them or not. I don't know if he is.
I don't know.
So but regardless, he's a talented young fighter, very, very fun to watch. He's got a bright future.
So is his opponent.
Yeah, so you probably know more about his opponent than I do, because I don't know anything about his opponent.
Yeah, Douglas Andrade or Silva de Andrade. That dude is good everywhere. Good striking, very good grappling, good submission game. He's good. So this is one of those fights I look at and I go, they do have some good matchups. Maybe it's some names that people don't know.
Yeah.
But that fight between Nurmagomedov and de Andrade, great fight. That's going to be a barn burner. Those guys are going to go after each other. It's then you get into some of the other fights, you go, yeah, it's a fight, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, you got Michael Johnson, who's making his quick turnaround, and you've got Malarkey. So
but that's okay. That's a fun fight.
Yeah.
That's a fun fight. I'm going to be honest, and nothing against either guy. They're both super tough. But Chase Sherman has been in and out of the UFC multiple times. They bring him back to be an opponent at times when someone drops out. He's going against Jared Vanderaa, who we saw, in his last fight, I think lost to Olenek. You look and you go, it's a fight, but there's no meaning behind it. Neither guy's going anywhere with it. They're both in the UFC. That's great, but that's the one you look at and you go, there's really nothing there.
Yeah, and then you've got
watch. It'll be a great fight though. It'll end up being a barn burner.
Cynthia Cavallo versus Nina Nunes. Another fight where you're just like, okay, both of them are kind of, I guess, I wouldn't say on a downward spiral, but like they're struggling to stay in the relevant category. Yeah, in the relevant category.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have like one good fight and they lose two, and they have two good fights, they lose one. It's like this up and down battle of trying to get going. Now, in Nina's defense, right? She's, recent new mom. I know it's been about 2 years, 3 years or whatever, but it's like having to be a mom and still trying to be a fighter. It's
changed your life.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
It's not the same. It's not all about you now.
Yeah, and then Cynthia just hasn't been able to find her groove. She was having a run for a while. I think she was 3 or 4 fights win streak in a row, and then she ended up losing. Yeah. She dropped her last one, I believe. But she was a little bit on a run.
I think she's lost
her last 3. Jeez.
Last 3? Oh my God, I thought it was last 2.
Yeah, so Chikagian, Andrade, and then Andrea Lee. Yeah. So, wow. So it's just like she was doing well for a little bit with the draw with Marina Rodriguez. I don't know. Like, it's like, here's the thing. These are the fighter. This I'm going to sit here and say this over and over, but this fight card is one of those fight cards where you look at it and you go, it doesn't really look good. Like, that's what I did. I know when you guys are at home going, you know what? It doesn't really look good. But these are the ones battling for their jobs.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a little extra fight out of these ones.
This is the ones where you go, it doesn't look like it. Ends up being a great night of fights.
Yeah.
Based upon people saying, I need to keep my job. I need to go out there and get a finish.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. You want to see those kind of fights.
Because you got Shevchenko versus Courtney Casey. It's another fight, where Shevchenko as well and Casey as well. Both need to get some wins. Both need to get on track. Both of them need to start making their run towards getting back up into the higher parts of the rankings or getting into the rankings at all.
Yep.
So when you look at the card, you're like, okay, look, they just need to come out and deliver. But we'll see. I believe that these are the ones that are fighting for their jobs. There's a lot of emotion going on. And I think you're going to get some really good fights on this card. From the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top is what's going to happen from the top to the bottom. From the
Top to the bottom, bottom to the top. It's okay.
I feel like I was getting ready to do a rap song. Go back to the co-main event, though, because we didn't touch on that at all. So, Petrosian.
Yep.
Super good fighter.
Yes.
But I don't know anything about Barhalo.
Super good fighter. He's good.
Okay, so
they're different.
7-1 versus 11-1.
Yeah.
Barhalo got the more experience.
A little bit.
But like I'm looking at them going like this should be a good fight. I think that's why they put it there.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, just gonna be honest, I don't know as much about both of them on how they would match up. But Petrosian, I know, is tough. He's good all the way around. He's got good stand up. He's got good grappling. But will he keep this on the feet? Or will he take it to the ground? I mean,
well, Petrosian likes to stand on his feet and
yeah,
he likes to knock people out and stuff. And I think that's what he's going to try to do. Look, Barhalo will stay with him on the feet for a while until he starts getting hit. I see him going for the takedown, trying to get the top position, look for a submission, look for ground and pound, and just keep that top position. He does that, he's going to win the fight. The question is, can he stand up to Petrosian and the power that Petrosian has and what he can do?
Interesting.
It's an interesting fight between both. I like it.
Should be
but again,
fun.
it's one of those ones a lot of people don't know the names. And so when they don't know the name, it's not one of the names that, the UFC has pushed a lot or anything like that. And they're young and, in the promotion. So it's understandable, but.
Yeah, you always get these kind of fights. You always get these kind of cards right after a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, sure.
It's like
filler,
like because we just spent a lot of money on last weekend, so we need to make that money up and pay all these kids.
We need to slow this train down just a little bit right now.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It dips into our billions that we make every year. Well, it dips into our billions.
Don't mess with the financial status at the end of the year.
No, we have marks to make. All right, hey, podcast Dave. That's gonna wrap up our UFC talk. What else are we gonna talk about?
All right, so first thing I'm going to talk about here is after Volkanovski's win this past weekend is Aljamain Sterling said, my honest opinion, I think I'd take Volk down pretty easily and submit him. And so, does that mean Aljamain's talking about going up? Does that mean he wants Volk to come down? Who gets the double champ? What do you guys think
I saw a post where he was talking about it's inevitable that he's going to end up going up in weight. He must struggle to make weight. I don't know if it's a grind on him to do it. I mean, right now the guy don't like me. I mean, like, so he posted a thing, or Henry posted a thing of him and the two of them facing off, Henry Cejudo and him. Yeah. And I said, hey, I'm Henry Cejudo all day, every day, against the best actor in the game, against Aljamain Sterling. Now, you guys, look, this is not me hating on him.
You are such a hater.
No, this is not me. I actually really like ALJO. I think he's good for the sport.
So do I.
Every sport needs a heel, and he's a perfect heel. Him and Colby Covington and certain guys, every sport needs a heel. I think he's extremely talented. There's no doubt about it. And, he can sit here and say whatever he wants because it's really no sweat off my sack. I don't care. I like watching him fight. It's okay with me and whatever he thinks of me. But ALJO, like not just ALJO, but anyone, and you guys could all stick up for him. I don't care. If you look back at that fight, and I've said this 100 times, the fight with Peter Yan, he was acting. Now, do I think that the blow was illegal? Yes, I don't have to think that. It was proven to be illegal. It was an illegal knee. Also, I don't know what the damage was, but let's just say it was a little bit
hit
of
him
damage.
hard.
You're in the middle. Well, John, I would not suggest you carry on if it was bothering you. But just like the Pedro Munoz thing, they're like, oh, he didn't even try to open his eye. Why? So he could fake for the camera that he's trying?
No.
No, that's the thing.
Have you ever had a scratched cornea? Because that's what I think it ended up being.
Yeah.
You can't open your damn eye. You're trying and you can't. Your eye just won't open.
And so my thing is that the way, and you guys can go back and watch it over and over and over. It was an act. And to say that it wasn't, you're just lying to yourself. Now, do I care that because you won the title? No, I don't care. Okay? Because all it did was guarantee you another title shot where you came back and proved that you were the better fighter. That's it. I don't understand what the argument is. That night, you were an actor. And but there was no reason to act. Just say like, hey, you know what? I got hit in the face with an illegal knee. Like, I don't need to act. It was a fucking illegal blow. It's been proven to be a legal blow. You don't need to act. Just say, look, I don't feel the same. And I don't blame you. But I blame you for the acting. I don't blame you for not continuing on, because it's your one opportunity. You worked really hard to get to a title shot. John, people forget that. These guys and females, they work their asses off for so long to get there. And to be illegally kneed in the head is a total, and to lose that opportunity to actually really fight for the title, that fucking sucks. Like, he could have potentially lost that. Dana would have been like, oh, you were starting to lose the fight. You don't deserve it anymore. But for him to act that night, that was an act. And you're lying to yourself, Aljo, if you don't believe that. And any fan that wants to stick up for you, I don't care. Okay? It was an act. Now, I did, like I said, I agree with the fact that you should have been like, no, I can't continue on. It was an illegal blow. I don't know what kind of effects it's going to have on me as the fight goes on. I'm not taking that chance. And I support that 100%. You came back. You proved to everyone after neck surgery, even after neck surgery, you proved that you were the better fighter. And I tip my hat to you, man. That's it. So I know you got mad. You called me a fat pussy or something like that, I think is what you called me. And it's okay. I'm okay with that. And you were upset because you even said that you used to be a big fan of mine, and now you're not because I said this. It's all right. My feelings are not hurt. Aljo, I still like you as a fighter. I mean, no matter what you say, buddy, we're still going to be friends. I'm still going to say hi to you. I'm still going to be whatever. I'm going to prop you up on this podcast every chance I get, even if you don't want to hear it when you do good. Okay? That's all. So anyways, he was pretty upset at me, calling me like a fat pussy or something. I love it. John knows how much trash talk I can take. It doesn't bother me.
It's like, wow, that's going to change my life right there. That's a tough one. I don't know if I can just live now knowing, that someone thinks that. I just look at it this way. Aljo proved, what kind of fighter he was in his last fight. He is a dynamite fighter. I do think that weight is going to start to cause him problem. And it's smart for him to start to go after Volkanovski. If you're going to go after someone, you got to go after, if you're the champion, you don't go after somebody else in the upper division other than the champion. And so you got to go after him. Not too sure. Like I said, I think it was our last podcast. To me, that guy, Volkanovski, is the pound for pound best fighter in the world right now. And so, I would say it's an uphill battle for Aljamain, but that's what the fight game is about. It's about being able to focus in on someone and prove that, nope, I'm better than you. I'm better than anyone's going to give me credit. I'm better than that guy. We'll see what happens. I'm just looking at it going, that's a steep hill to climb right there. He is awfully good, and he's awfully good everywhere. Could Aljo take him down? Possibly. A lot of guys have worked at it and tried and not been real successful with it. So we'll find out. But there's always that guy that can. I want to see, are they going to put the Aljamain versus Henry Cejudo fight together though? That's an interesting fight, because if you can take that guy down, now I'll be really impressed. I don't think that's going to happen though. Yeah,
I don't think you're taking him down. It's just a matter of, I think he's got a decent chance on the feet. Aljo, he doesn't have bad stand up.
No, he's got a good chance on the feet, and he's got a chance, if Henry takes him down, of catching Henry in a mistake, getting his back. He's got that ability. He's great on the ground, so definitely.
Yeah, I continue to say this about Henry though. It's the speed of the takedown that gets people. They try to set up submissions, and the speed of the takedown is too fast.
And it's not only the speed of the takedown; it's the entry, it's the change of levels, it's the way he does it. Look, there's a reason why he was top of the game, top of the food chain, Olympic gold medalist. He's that good in that area. He is. You don't know until all of a sudden you know. John Jones had put out. They actually put out the tape. He put it out of him. I can't remember if it was Jalen he was wrestling, but Olympic bronze medalist, and you just saw the difference in the wrestling as far as it's just pure wrestling. Man, to take on a guy that has been on the Olympic team in wrestling, you don't know until you know, and then you go, holy shit, I thought I could wrestle. They're just at a different level, and so it would be something that would be tough for Aljamain based upon he does live off of being able to take people down. He's not going to be able to just take Henry down.
Yeah, and we've seen where ALJO, when he's being pressed and being pushed on the feet, he'll tend to work backwards. And with Henry's proven when he fought Moraes that he's a dog, that he will walk you down and take shots to deliver shots. And he's got big balls for a little guy. And he'll get in there and throw it down, which is that was one of the things one of the questions I always needed answered for me, because after you go back and you watch the last, what was it, like the last time he lost was the DJ fight, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So he lost. Yeah.
I did it.
Like,
no.
Yeah. No, he lost.
Is that the last one?
Did he lose to Benavidez?
He lost to Benavidez also, yeah.
Yeah, so he lost to Joe. But yeah, but I mean, that had been so long ago, and now he's riding high. I wish he wouldn't have stepped away for these 2 years. I wish he would have stayed going but there was just no fights really left for him. They were talking about getting rid of the 125-pound division. I don't know if ALJO and him will be a big sell. I'm big into Henry. And ALJO, I mean, like I like him as a talent. I do like him a lot as a talent. But for him to say that he's going to go to 45, I think Volk will go to 55 before he goes to 45.
That could be.
Because there's still plenty of people. Like ALJO's already talking about going to 45, but there's still plenty of people for ALJO to fight. You know what I mean? So there's guys and to fight as a champion. The other thing, like, fight the guys in your division and make as much money as you can. You jump too soon, you lose. Now the nostalgia of you being champion at 35 is gone. Okay, now let's see what you can make. Make a run at 35. Make all that money. Make as much money as you can in that championship clause. You go to 45, you might make one-time money, but if you don't win, now you go back down to your weight class, and it's like no one really wants to tune in and watch you fight. So, I mean, he's got his hands full too with TJ. Now, do I think he beats TJ? He might. TJ's had too many. This injury was a long time. That was one. He came back for one fight. Then he got injured after what, a 3-year layoff or 2-year layoff?
2 year. Well, that wasn't a layoff. That was a suspension.
Time. Yeah, layoff. But that's a long time, John. So 2 years off. Then he gets his first fight back, gets hurt, earns himself a title shot, and then now he was off another year. So 3 years in the last 4, he's been away. So this is a tough task for him to fight someone who's been relevant in terms of ALJO. So but then you look beyond these guys. I'd like to see the Sandhagen fight again. That might make for a good fight. There's other fights that are available in there. So we'll see.
First off, you don't know how tough it is for him to make 135 right now. He does.
Yeah.
And maybe it's getting too tough for him, but it's like I have no problem with him saying, my honest opinion, I think I would take Volk down. When he says pretty easy, okay, maybe not, but hey, he's got to have that confidence. That's you got to believe in yourself, and you got to be able to say it.
In a 5-round fight, I think he gets him down at least a couple times. Now I don't know if he can hold him down. I mean, Volk's a fucking scrap, and like he just went with Brian Ortega, and Brian was having a hard time getting him down. Remember, he had to jump guillotine to get him down, and then was able to get over and reverse him and get on top. There's ways to it, but are you as good on the ground as jiu-jitsu as Brian Ortega?
Well, I guess we would find out.
Better wrestler, but I don't know if you can get him down. Anyways, it's
definitely
I guess it's left. Wrestler. It's up to us. It's something to be left to. Something to be desired. Something left to be desired is that, hey, this fight could really happen. I think Volk goes to 55 before ALJO goes to 35. I don't think the UFC is going to really let him go up either. They're going to be like, no, you got some work to do down here, buddy. Remember, even at the end of the day, if the champion calls for something, they're like, the UFC is like, nah, we have no interest in that. It's up to them. So to sit here and talk about it, he'll be like, nope. Dana's like, no, you guys slow your roll, buddy. Now, Volk, he's already come out and said, he can do whatever the hell he wants. I think ALJO's got a ways to go before he's able to make that call.
I don't know. This thing says Volkanovski wasn't overly bothered by the comments, but he did have a comeback for Funkmaster. What was the comment? What was the comeback?
What was the comeback there, buddy?
from Volk to ALJO. He didn't.
Jeez, Dave.
He didn't say.
Yes,
anything.
it does. It says it right there. Aljamain said that. Let him talk. It's all right.
Probably the video right below it might be.
He's got his own division to hold on.
The
Credit to him to fight someone like Peter Yan and get the win, but settle down. Okay, he did say something in return.
Jeez, Dave. Oh man, I'm gonna have to call up Chin, have him give you lessons on how to look things up. All right, guys. Let's go next. What's the next there, Dave?
So did you guys see anything on the whole UFC thing with Josh Emmett at the fights this past weekend and how he felt he was mistreated by the UFC, kind of snubbed as like.
Was he there?
You know, he sees exactly. He sees himself as being the next guy in line for the title. And he said that it was Uriah Faber did a long interview with MMA Junkie and talked about it, and he said that things like he wasn't put on camera, he was pushed way to the back, he ended up being moved into the stands, and he used the word ghosted by the UFC at the event in terms of like not being, Volkanovski won, there was no kind of pointing to Emmett and looking at Emmett as the next guy, nothing, and then just the overall treatment as well, where the UFC didn't put him like kind of up front the way they do it with the stars and all that. And Uriah Faber said he's pissed. He's going to go to Sean and Dana and kind of let them know that it's not acceptable treatment. And so Josh Emmett had even said to Uriah at the event supposedly that he's like, I just wish they would release me because they don't care about giving me the opportunity. So just wanted to get your reaction to kind of that. And is he the next guy? And if he is, then why are they not giving him the light that he deserves?
Should he be the next guy? He should be.
Should he be?
Can you pull up the
absolutely.
Rankings? If you take a look at what's gone on and who he's beaten in that weight class and who's the one guy, if you're looking at Volkanovski, Arnold Allen is there. Okay, he's that good. But at the top, you got two guys, that are in that position. Emmett just proved himself with the win against Calvin Kattar. Okay, it was a close fight, but he got the win. So he beats Calvin. The only other one that's up there, Yair and Brian are going to be fighting, so it's kind of tough. The only other one right now that you look at is Arnold Allen as far as an opponent. So I don't disagree with him. He should be in consideration. It doesn't mean that he's the only guy that they can put against Volkanovski, and he needs to kind of figure that one out. But he's got a good argument that he should be next. He's got a good argument.
He's got a good argument. But Yair Rodriguez, if he wins against Brian Ortega, will be next.
That could be true.
So he'll be next. Now, second, you getting your feelings hurt because they didn't put you down on the front row. That's just like that's this business. Cain Velasquez was the champ, loses to RDA. Next fights.
Hold on, stop.
Not RDA. Sorry, loses to Junior. Loses to Junior. Loses to Junior. Next
JDS.
Fight, he's like 3 rows back from the front.
That's it.
He was just your heavyweight champ. Like one of the most loved fighters at the time was Cain. And then he lost that fight on Fox, the very first fight on Fox. Then they flew him coach, not business. He's a big guy. Flew him coach, Southwest. They put him back 3, 4, 5 rows. It was like 3. I think it was 3 rows. They put him back. Like he wasn't up at the front with everyone. He wasn't inside the corral with everyone as a champ. These are things that you're going to have to learn. The UFC will do things based off of your tenure, and they'll do things based off of where you're at in terms of your status at the moment. That's just how it goes. As soon as you start losing, all that stuff goes away. You'll end up being 4, 5, 6, 8 rows back. I've seen guys that were former champions in the stands.
The difference is, what are you saying? When you start losing, Josh Emmett didn't lose.
Okay, I get what you're saying, John, but he's also 37 years old, I believe. Is he 36 or 37? They have no desire to make a big push on someone who's going to retire in 2 years, or he's not going to have much left in the tank in another 2 or 3 years. They're looking for the younger fighters, and I've said this over and over, and I will continue to say this. Look, when I was supposed to fight Pettis was 26 and I was 37. after the Nate
Oh,
Diaz fight.
you old bastard, you.
And look, and when they basically said, "Hey, Pettis is injured," I was like, "Okay."
Well,
I just knew it was. I knew it was coming. I just for some reason I knew it was coming. And you just have to understand they have a business model they have to follow. The young and upping stud or talent that they have, they need to make that push for them. That's what they do. That's how their business model runs. You can't run off of 40-year-olds. Sure, maybe in some of the upper weight classes you can, but you can't do it in the smaller weight classes, and they know that. They know that speed kills. That's the way this thing works. Now, for him to get his feelings hurt, I understand why you're upset. You worked hard to get there, but they don't give a shit.
Nope.
They're not going to care.
no.
And they're going to continue to do what they do. They want you wanting more. And then now that Uriah's come out and made this public, be careful, man.
Which is kind of unusual because look at Uriah. Uriah understands the entire game. He's very good friends with Dana. He doesn't usually rock the boat at all. I think he's trying to get that push for his guy, and you gotta give him respect for trying to do that. I just don't know if it's going to work for him.
I don't know how that's going to be received by Dana White.
That's
Like,
what I'm
okay,
saying.
fine.
I just don't know if it's going to work for him.
Cool, whatever. You know,
Josh Thompson, you are a heartless man. Heartless.
No,
You're heartless.
Sometimes the young fighters.
Josh Emmett is a guy who has worked his way to a point he deserves to at least be not put into the stands. I'm not saying he's front row. Okay, you don't want to put him front row, but he should be in that fight. You know what I'm talking about is the fighter section, where they put BJ Penn was there.
Yeah.
Okay.
John, but John, like I said, 10 years.
I'm not saying I understand.
BJ Penn owns
I'm not saying
5.
I'm not
He owns
saying
5 UFC
I'm not saying
gyms in Hawaii.
BJ Penn should not have been there. That's not what I was saying at all. I'm saying that's the area, and you know that area, and Josh Emmett should have been there. He shouldn't be up in the stands.
Let me give you an example. I beat Hermes Franca. They put me as the number 1 guy in the world at the time in the UFC.
Yeah, but you were in lightweights, and at the time they were going to get rid of
And at the time, yeah.
lightweights.
And the thing is no, they had me 10 rows up in the stands.
Yeah.
That was back in 2003, 2004. Then now, right? I beat Nate Diaz. They had me for the Gilbert Melendez and the Nate Diaz, or not Gilbert Melendez and Diego Sanchez fight. They had me 1 row sitting between Paul Wall and Roger Clemens in the first row, but behind the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lose to Benson, and the next show I go to, I'm like 6-7 rows back on the aisle all the way down. Like, they don't care. Like, and you shouldn't be bothered by that. At the end of the day,
it's all about how relevant you are at the moment.
Yep, and that's the thing. You cannot take this shit personal.
But Josh Emmett's relevant. He's relevant right now.
John, not really.
Wow,
not really.
You are harsh.
I'm sorry. I like him a lot. I actually kind of like the way he fights. He throws big haymakers.
Fights hard.
Fights hard. He's got big power.
Yep.
And he's a sprawling brawler, takedown, type fighter with big shots. I like that style of fighting. I always have. Right now, I can just tell from the history of that division, Yair Rodriguez is the guy they're trying to get to the title. And Josh, if Yair wins, it's gonna be him over Josh Emmett. So there's no rush. The UFC knows that, and so they're gonna wait to see how that fight plays out. And even then, they may have Josh Emmett fight Arnold Allen. The fact that you're sitting here going, "Hell, I deserve to be next," or "I'm going to be next," they're like, "Whoa! We make the calls. We're over here. Dana White's not being bullied into anything. No one's going to tell him what the hell to do and who's going to fight next for the title.
He's waiting to see how the dust.
Yeah, you're going to wait to see how he's going to wait to see how the dust settles to see if Yair beats Brian Ortega, and if he does, that's going to be next. And then Josh going to have to fight somebody else during that time frame. Watch. Because one of the big mistakes that young fighters will make, which he's not a young fighter, but he will, because he's worked so hard to get to this position, he doesn't want to lose it. They will say, "No, I'm going to sit out." And just remind you, Joe Silva and Dana,
they will freeze your butt.
You. Yep. They will sit you. Oh, you want to sit out? Cool. Sit for 6 months.
More than that.
See you later. Yeah, more than that. So don't do that either. Look, I'm just here to tell you the negative parts of the business. I like Josh Emmett. I'd love to see him fight next, but I already know that Yair would probably be next if he's Brian. And I also know that if you sit out, that you'll end up having to fight Arnold Allen or somebody else that they maybe could get beat. They can beat you that's a little bit younger than you. Yeah. So don't try to play that game. If they offer you a fight, say, okay, I'll take it. Do I get the title shot? Maybe put in there, say, hey, do I get the title shot guaranteed if I get this win? Start talking about things like that. Start having that conversation with them. I don't think it was wise to do what they did, what he did with that, though, where Uriah came out and said, he was mad, he's pissed, asked for the release. That's not something you want to hear, to a guy that you're going to give a title shot to. I don't want to hear that. So you might have shot yourself in the foot. Not you, but, Uriah might have. Anyways, all right, what's next?
All right, you want to know what's next? Yep. Hold on 1 second. Watch this.
Oh, little man's there, huh?
Hey, Josh, I just want to make sure while he's...
My dog has shown he is not a fan of Bellator. He just chewed the shit.
Oh, man, your microphone head.
You guys can see the screen, right? I know that something happened where I glitched out for a minute.
Yeah.
But you guys can still see it, right?
Yep. Yeah. It went away for a second, but it came back.
Great. Next story. So you guys obviously, I'm sure, saw the little exchange between Michael Chandler and Dustin Poirier at UFC 276, where they were in the front row and they were being held back by security. So Michael Chandler then comes out and tweets out, "Simple truth in life: you aren't yourself when you're that thirsty. Keep your cool. Be a professional, especially in public. Your insecurities are showing." Diamond emoji rather. So do we get to see that fight, do you think?
I would love to see that fight. I think it's a great fight. I'm not sure that's the one you're going to see. There's a lot to say about what's going on. You know, no matter, again, he's not the champ, but Charles Oliveira is the champ. All right. Who is he calling for? Who does he want?
Who does who want?
Charles.
Oh, he wants Conor.
Yes. Why?
It's money.
Hell yes.
Money.
And I don't blame
you guys
him.
Listening to us, John's making the money signs.
I don't blame him. And so you look and you go, okay, so at number 12, I think Conor is ranked. Will he get that shot? Very possible. So they give Conor a shot at the title against Charles Oliveira. Dustin Poirier is sitting there at the top. Michael Chandler's not far behind. You got Islam sitting there. I don't know who do you have Islam fight? I mean, he could be, a couple of different people, but I look and say Michael Chandler against Dustin Poirier, that'd be a great fight. I would love to see it. You don't want to see it?
No, I would want to see it. I think it's a great fight as well. But if you're gonna have that fight, you have Dustin versus Islam. If Charles is gonna fight if he's not gonna fight for the title, he wants to fight Conor McGregor. So Charles is gone now. He's not fighting for the title because he doesn't want to. If that takes away his fight for Conor McGregor, because he's not the champion anymore. There's no reason for me. I can fight Conor, make more money.
Yep.
And not have the title. Let them fight for the interim, and after I beat Conor, I'll come back and fight. I'll come back and fight for the title.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Charles Oliveira, and I would have Dustin fight Islam. Dustin deserves it more than Chandler does to fight for the title.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dustin just fought for the title.
He was, chomping at the bit though. But no, he's been relevant in that weight class and fought the who's who longer than Chandler, and not just because Chandler was off in Bellator, it was because he's actually fought the tougher competition back to back. Was the interim champion. You can market that, Whereas you could say Chandler, if you were to say he fought Dan Hooker, he got a win over him. But then he fought. Who did he lose to after? He fought Charles, lost. Then
he lost to Charles, and then he lost to Gaethje, and then he beat Tony.
And then he beat Tony, who was coming off 5 straight losses. Dan Hooker was, I think, number 6 at the time when he fought him, but was coming off of a loss. And then he fought. I believe he was coming off of a loss, and then he fought Oliveira. Then he fought Justin, lost to both of them, and he lost to both of them convincingly. And then
no. Well, look, yes. Hold on.
What fights were you watching?
Hold on. But look, if you're the UFC, you like a guy who goes out and fights. and
Yeah,
they were
that's true.
and they were exciting fights, and they were action packed, and so that right there is bumping him up into a status of, hey, this guy goes out and puts on a show for us. The fucking Oliveira fight, he was winning until he gets hit with a left hook and fucking Oliveira puts him away. Great job. He wins it, but it was a great fight. And then the Gaethje fight, that's going to be fight of the year. Let's be honest. It's right up there. I'm not saying I thought he fought intelligently, but he fought with his fucking balls hanging because that was a hell of a fight between the both of them. So again, if you're the UFC, you look and go, man, that was entertaining. He went out and he put it on the line. We like that. And then he goes out and he gets the fucking starching front kick knockout of Tony Ferguson. This is a guy you're looking at going, we like him.
Mm-hmm.
We like pushing him because he goes out and he puts on exciting fights for us.
No, I get it. I understand what you're talking about. But if I'm going to take him or Dustin, I'm going to take Dustin fighting for the interim title against Islam. I'm not going to take Chandler and Islam. If I'm a promotion, I'm going to take Dustin over Chandler.
Okay. I'm okay with you doing that. I don't have a problem with it, but it's not like, oh, that's an easy pick. It's not. You can put Chandler in that position against Islam and say that'll be a great fight. Or you could say, I'm not going to put Islam in that position. I'm going to let Islam, sit there, and I'm going to fucking put Poirier against Chandler now that I see there's some heat there. I can build something off of it. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know.
Look at, they like building you. I mean, come on. You recall there was this bus incident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I recall it.
Khabib and Conor.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Khabib and Conor. Sorry. And you look and you go, did they not build the fight off of that? They used all that footage. It's part of the history of it. Well, don't you think that they're going to use that footage of Dustin and Chandler, barking at each other, people pulling people away? Sure they will. Yeah. Because it was real.
Well, I also think that we might be spinning our wheels because Islam and Oliveira may end up fighting anyways for the title, which would make sense. And then you have Dustin and you have Chandler.
There you go.
But I don't think that's a good matchup for Chandler. If you look at the Justin Gaethje matchup and Dustin Poirier and Gaethje, you look at the Oliveira and Gaethje. I mean, I know MMA math doesn't add up.
Nope.
But this is one of those fights that's Gaethje and Dustin are very similar. And Gaethje was 30-27 on all three judges' cards, I believe.
No, I think didn't Poirier stop it?
No, Justin Gaethje and Chandler.
Oh, yeah. No.
It was 30-27 on all three, I think, on all three judges' cards.
No, it wasn't.
Pull it up, Dave.
MMA decisions.
There you go. John, see this? John knows the business. He goes right to it. MMA decisions.
And then can we search on here?
Yes. You go fighters?
By fighter?
Or unless you had that or the event. You'll pull it up. Get rid of that stuff.
And then,
oh, my God. You go Chandler, go to C. Or G for Gaethje. That probably might be faster.
Gaethje Chandler. Let's see this.
There you go. Pull it up.
And it was
29-28, 30-27, 29-28.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Oh, and you see, it was your favorite judge that gave it the 30-27 for Gaethje. So
Crosby, Douglas Crosby. I wonder what round he won. What round did he win? Round one on both judges' cards.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Two judges had it exactly the same throughout, and it was right.
Got it. Okay. But when you look at that fight, it wasn't really a close fight. I didn't look at it as a close fight.
I thought that Gaethje started walking away from him with it, but it was based upon fight IQ also. Taking big shots to try to look impressive as far as what you were going to land and then not landing. That's how you lose a fight.
When we've sat here before, not just me, but a lot of people have sat here, not in my spot, but people have said Justin Gaethje has one of the worst fight IQs in the business. But he met his match against Michael Chandler, who has fucking got the worst fucking fight IQ in the business. Gaethje they're both fun to watch. They're both dogs. They both love to fight. They are both extremely talented fighters. Extremely talented fighters. But when it comes to fighting smart, I thought Gaethje looked like he had turned a corner in fighting smart against Chandler because he fought a smart fight.
He fought his fight.
He fought a really smart fight.
Fought his fight.
Chandler, not so much.
Yeah.
So, anyways, look, I don't care how they break it all up, but I think if you're gonna have an interim title, it should be Dustin and Islam. It shouldn't be Chandler and Dustin. It should be Dustin and Islam. And that's only if Oliveira runs up to fight Conor. If he's like, hey, I want that Conor fight. I just don't think they're gonna give Conor.
Did you say that Oliveira's gonna run up to fight Conor?
Well, he'd have to run all the way up to down. He'd have to jump. He'd have to run all the way up to 12. Jump down, whatever it is.
Jump down to 12.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be running up there for the money, though. That's for sure.
Well, I don't blame. Like, why is he fighting?
For the money.
For money. Okay.
For money.
Good for him. That's your prize fighter. If you can get the money because it's Conor, go ahead. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not saying that I think Conor deserves it. He doesn't.
Audie is his manager, Conor's manager, correct?
Yep.
If Audie is smart, then they don't match that fight. You get him for that Nate fight for the last one. Hopefully Conor gets a win. You send Nate off packing.
Okay, but hold on. Let's look at this. Did you see what Mayweather offered?
Yeah.
Guess what?
Conor.
You know what Conor is saying about fighting in MMA?
He's like, screw that. Yeah,
screw
I don't
that.
know why he wouldn't take that fight again. Hello,
I mean, first it was 157 million, then it was 160 million. Hello.
Yeah. Now I wonder, does the UFC get a part of that now on this second time around?
I have no idea what his contract.
I mean, he's now rich enough to be like, I don't give a shit what you guys do. Like, you guys can't take my money now. I think he's rich enough now. He doesn't have to be like, nah, I don't need you guys to do it. You can try to hold me up in arbitration all you want, as long as you want, or hold me up and try to freeze it. But
they could put an injunction on that fight.
Yeah.
If they have a contract that's valid that says he can't go and do it.
I would imagine his newer contract states that he could probably do boxing. But,
I don't know.
I mean, who knows? You never know. You never know. All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up that talk. What else is next there, Dave?
All right. I want to get your thoughts on...
We beat that shit to the fucking pulp.
That was not on like my microphone thing.
Get your thoughts on fighters moving to the WWE/pro wrestling. Paige Van Zandt recently went to AEW. Ronda, Shayna Baszler, Matt Riddle, all in WWE, of course.
Valerie Loretta.
Valerie Loretta, yeah. And now Jessica I saying she's planning
Josh's
to move
favorite fighter
to pro wrestling.
She's not a bad fighter, John. She's not a bad fighter.
Not.
No.
Following MMA retirement. Thoughts on this?
Felicia Herrick, she signed with the bare knuckle people, I think.
Did she?
Yeah, I have that in here as well.
Yeah, she signed with the bare knuckle people. You've got Jessica I now, who is signs with BKFC. Then you got Jessica I trying to probably go to pro wrestling. I don't know. I don't know. No, I agree. I think it's a great
about
idea.
Personality though.
Yeah.
The WWE, AEW, all of them, they are about personality. This is Mauro Ranallo and I, we not argue, but talk and debate back and forth.
Everything is an argument with Mauro. Who are you kidding? Everything is an argument.
Mauro Ranallo is a human hurricane. He just swirls and goes. He's awesome to look at.
He goes 0 to 10 in like 2 seconds.
But there is a difference between the sporting aspect and the entertainment aspect. And you take a look at someone like a Paige Van Zandt. She's got the sporting aspect because she can fight, but she's also got that entertainment personality. She puts stuff out on her Instagram and Twitter, things that people want to follow. She's someone that people are interested in on the offside of the fighting. Ronda was the same thing. People were interested in Ronda no matter if it was fighting or personal life stuff, and she can turn it on. She's got that personality for the WWE. You got to have that personality for it too. You got to be out there. You got to be able to put it. And I'm not saying that Jessica, I can't. I'm just saying that I haven't seen that from her as a professional fighter. It's not been part of who she is in the sporting world. Can she bring in that entertainment side? It's not easy to just turn it on.
True. I mean, I also look at pro wrestling females, and they have a certain look to them. I don't know if she has that look either. That's the other thing.
Oh, look at you.
I think she's pretty cute.
No,
Jessica, I don't know.
She's
I've interviewed her and stuff. I think she's cute. I like her personality. She's real bubbly. She's fun to be around. But it really comes down to what they're looking for. Does she meet what they're looking for?
Well,
so it'd be nice if she got in, whether it's AEW, whether it's WWE, whether it's whatever other promotions that wrestling has, whatever. But I wish her nothing but the best. She's such a nice person.
It's all about what the wrestling, whatever promotion is looking for at the time. Because when they're looking for bringing that reality aspect into it, the realism of fighting, she's a person you can go to. When they're looking for the personality part, that's the part where I go, I'm not too sure. But good luck to her.
Next.
All right. We are going to use this last 20 minutes or so. We're going to dive into some fan questions. We did put a post up yesterday for you guys. So let's jump into some of these fan questions here.
Trouble.
All right. Joaquin Luna asks for both. Should the UFC commission limit how many cornermen enter the fighter's corner during a break, because sometimes it feels like the cut man is not being allowed enough time or space to work on a fighter when they have a serious cut.
This is quick. Go ahead, John.
There is a limit.
Yeah, it's like,
there
what
is.
are you talking about?
It's there. It is supposed to be 2 people can enter that cage. The problem is you'll get a commission that their inspectors don't understand what the rule is, and they just let people start to go in there. It is a 2-person limit. That can be the trainer and another trainer for the fighter. But if you need the cut man, that means that one of those trainers that was normally going in stays on the outside. The one trainer and the cut man go in, and the other trainer can be on the outside of the cage. There is that in the regulations. It's part of the unified rules, and so it is there. I just can't help when a commission doesn't do what they're supposed to do.
Yep. Ditto what John said. 2 people. If someone gets a cut man comes in, 1 corner goes out. Simple. Yep.
Next from Roscoe Stark. Question: is Jalen Turner the tallest, longest, and lankiest fighter you have ever seen at 155 pounds? Thanks.
155. No.
Corey Hill.
Boom!
Look at you, Josh Thompson. That's my man. You know what you're talking about.
Hard to forget Corey Hill because his fucking leg broke the way it broke.
Well, it did. Corey Hill was a good 6'4", if not 6'5". He was. It's like your bones are hollow, and eventually it looked that way when his leg broke. But he was the biggest 155-pounder I'd ever seen.
Next.
From Whack, question for Big John: do the judges give credit / notice when a leg kick is checked? Can they identify whether the checked kick hurt the person throwing the kick more than the receiving? Thanks, love the show.
No, they do not give credit for the checking of the kick. What the checking of the kick is what we call defense. It's smart defense. You do not get credit for anything you do defensively, because that's sitting there saying, oh, this guy's kicking. Well, that guy's checking. Well, which one's better? You can't do that. As the judge, it doesn't work for you. So all of MMA is offensive-based scoring. The person throwing the kick doesn't get credit for the kick when it gets checked, though. So neither guy gets credit for it. It hurts both, but neither guy gets credit because that offensive-based technique was defended with the check. But you don't give credit to the person checking, and you don't give credit to the person kicking. It's negated by the check. It's only offensive based.
Yeah, we shouldn't be giving credit for shit that you should automatically be doing. You should try to avoid to get hit and kicked and punched in the face and all the other stuff.
There you go.
You shouldn't be giving credit for stuff that you just, in your mind, you should know, like, I don't want to get hit in the face.
It's very simple, and you get a lot of people go, oh, no, but if someone does, what if they do this and they defend, and you can't give credit to Josh goes to choke me, and I defend against the choke. You don't give me credit for defending against the choke, because what I get credit for is I get to stay in the fight. Josh wasn't able to make that choke work, but I give credit to Josh for how close was the choke, how much trouble did he put me in, was I in danger? He gets the credit for the offensive maneuver. I get to stay in the fight and hopefully do something back to him. But that's everything in MMA is based upon offense. You get credit for your offense. You don't get credit for defending. Defending allows you to stay in the fight and continue on.
John and I both know I would have finished the choke. Anyways. Next.
Joaquin Luna asks, question for Josh. How do you think your career would have ended if Strikeforce was never sold to the UFC? Personally, I think you could have won the lightweight title again.
I don't know. I really don't know. Gil and I were kind of like, Gil didn't want the third fight. So I know for sure he wouldn't have wanted a fourth fight.
You already know he didn't want the fourth fight.
Yeah.
There was an opportunity for that.
Yeah. We actually tried to put the fourth fight on together already. Just, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I think I would have continued to make a lot of money because I was making a ton of money at the time. And so, and I would have just kept beating whoever they tried to put in front of me. I can't say whether I would have won the title or not. I mean, I was still motivated at that time. You guys got to remember, though, I was also 36 at that time. I beat Nate Diaz when I was 36. I was supposed to fight Pettis when I was 37. That fight fell through. And then I fought Benson when I was 37. I was a lot, man. I mean, like 37 years old. I mean, I was trying to stay motivated at that time. And that's why I kept wanting the Cowboy Cerrone fight. I wanted the Pettis fight. These are all fighters that people kept telling me I couldn't beat. And I was like, those are the fights that I wanted. I just never was offered those fights. So it was what it was. It is what it is. I mean, I had said yes to RDA. I had said yes to Benson. I said yes to all the top 5 guys. But I only wanted to fight the top 5 guys because I wanted to fight the best guys. When they started giving me guys that weren't in the rankings anymore, I mean, they tried to offer me Rustam Kabalov. Rustam, and I was like, instead of giving me the Pettis fight, which they had already told me I had, then Pettis got hurt. They tried to give me Rustam and then put me on the opening fight as the main event on the main card. I told him no, and then Joe got pissed off at me. And he's like, you know what? Fine, you can just sit on the sideline forever. I'll sit you for 6 months. And I told Bob to tell my manager. I told Bob Cook, tell Joe Silva, Josh is pretty good with his money. He can sit for a year if you need him to. He said he's ready to fight. And just told him, I said, tell him I'm ready to fight when you give me a top 5 guy. So a week later, I got the call to fight Benson. That's how, I wasn't upset. I knew what they were doing. I knew that they had a young new champion. Had it been Benson who beat Pettis, I would have got that title shot hands down. They did not like Benson. They still don't like Benson. They didn't like him then. They didn't like him. So they were trying to get him beat. But Pettis beat him before I could fight him. So, and I also think things would have been different. I'm nothing against Benson. I love Benson. He's a great person. I love him. But I think I would have beat Benson. I should have beat him, but I tore my thumb and my wrist. It changed the way that I fought. It's stupid. I shouldn't have let it affect me as much as I did. But I think if that fight would have happened in SAC, I think it would have beat him. Just who knows? Who knows what injuries I would have had? But regardless, I think Pettis was tailor-made for me. I don't think he could have stopped my wrestling. You go back and you watch my wrestling during that time when I fought Benson, my wrestling would have taken Pettis down pretty easily. And I already trained with Pettis on the ground, and I knew what he was good at. I knew he had a good guard game. I knew that he, outside of his guard or half guard, he wasn't the same jiu-jitsu guy. I knew that. I think tailor-made. Pettis was tailor-made for me. So would have been, but Pettis was good on the feet, crafty on the feet. He could have fucking knocked me out. You never know. So that's why we fight the fight. But to say what would have happened in Strikeforce, I don't know. Next.
Keegan Hope asks, what do you think? Oh, I'm going to merge 2 questions here, by the way. Keegan Hope, what do you think Max should do? Stay at 145 and fight someone like an Arnold Allen, or move up to 155 for an easier weight cut? And then Gail Ducoing asks, question for both guys: how do you think a fight between Prime Holloway and Prime Tony Ferguson would have gone if Max went up to 155?
If you're saying Prime Tony Ferguson and Prime Max, like what's Prime Max? Max still right now is in his prime.
I was going to say, he's 28 years old, isn't he?
Yeah, he's young. Like,
is he 28, 29 years old?
I don't know. I know he's still young. So I wouldn't talk about prime. He's in his prime right now. So you got Prime Max, asking. Right? Yeah, but I'm saying Prime Max 30. Right now. He's 30. He's still 30? In his prime. Damn. Yes, yeah, so you got him and you've got Tony. I would have went with Tony because Tony has a bigger body frame, and also Tony is somebody that would have, I think, just thrown him off a little bit with all the funk. The push kicks up the middle, the long range stuff. I know Max is long, tall, long, and lanky for the weight class, and the output is there. But I also think that when you talk to who has more power, Tony Ferguson's got more power. Tony Ferguson, with the grappling wise, I think a little bit more crafty, would have put things together a little bit differently. He would have wrestled a little bit more too against Max. He wouldn't have just stood. I think I would give it to Tony. Just my opinion, not because I fought Tony and lost to Tony. But I think that Tony just in his prime, in the moment, in the time when he was beating me and beating everybody else, in that 13 fight or whatever the skit was, he was just on a different level and doing things that people weren't used to seeing. You know, the way he was hitting chokes everywhere. So I would have given it to Tony.
I would tell Max, and everything can be based upon, though, how hard is the weight cut for him now? I'm not too sure. If it's killing him, then hey, go up. And I say go up based upon health. But things aren't going to get any easier at lightweight for Max. Let's just be honest. You can take a look at some of the guys that are up in that weight class right now. They're going to create problems for Max based upon style matchups. And they're bigger, stronger than the people that he is competing against right now. He'll be bigger and stronger, but it's not going to equate the same. At the time, you've got, if you're looking at the top people, a lot of good grapplers in that division. There's people with, Sarukian. Take a look at him. Very young, very good grappling, very good wrestling. Camera, great wrestling. So you've also got, Islam. He's there. That's going to be a tough fight for Max. There's just a lot of hard fights, and there's fights that, he's already had against certain guys. He's had the fight with Poirier, and he wasn't able to, get a win there and stuff. It's not going to get any easier. But if the weight cut is the issue, then I say go up. If he can stay at 145, I would like to see Max stay there because there's only one guy that can beat him, and I think that guy's going to be leaving. The guy that, consistently you look at and you go, okay, he's proven 3 times he's beaten Max, we'll say. And so Volkanovski, he's the boogeyman for Max Holloway. But everyone else, look at Max he's either, their master and just prove that, or you look as you go and you go, I think, if I put those two guys together, I'm gonna kind of tend to lean towards Max to win that. It's that question of, where are you at? Why are you leaving the weight class? And if it's because of, just I can't beat Volkanovski and I won't get a title shot, I think he'll end up getting another title shot based upon, I don't know if Volkanovski will try to hold on to both belts. The UFC's not big into allowing people to hold on to 2 belts because it ties up one of the divisions somewhere along the way and it causes them a problem. It makes it to where it's more difficult to put on the fights that they want and their pay-per-views based upon now they have a title that's, in flux because they got one guy controlling both titles. So I don't know. I would like to see Max stay where he's at.
Yeah, there's certain fights at 55 I'd like to see him fight. I'd like to see him fight Gaethje. I'd like to see him fight Dustin again, but giving him time to get up in the weight class, not just, taking the fight on short notice. And I'd like to see him fight Chandler. Those are fights that I think are tailor-made for him. Those are fights that I see them not really. Chandler may try to wrestle a little bit, but I think Max is a dirty enough dog to put some work on Chandler. The speed of the hands, the reach,
look. He's
the
a
way
good
he can
enough
take
fighter
shots.
to give anybody problems.
Anybody
You're
problems.
absolutely right. The question
Certain fighters
is,
are not.
can he beat the top guys in that division? It's going to be he's not the favorite in a lot of those fights.
Yeah, I don't think he can beat Charles. I don't think he can beat Islam. I don't think he can beat Saryukin. I don't think he can beat Gamrot. I don't think he might be able to beat RDA. I don't know see how good Fiziv's takedown defense is, if he can beat him or not. I mean, you don't want to stand with him. So there's guys
Max
that are
would
in
definitely
that mix.
stand with him. You know him.
Yeah, he would. He would, and that's the thing. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah.
There's like styles make matchups.
Yep.
I think guys like Bobby Green would give Max a little bit of a problem. The way he rolls his shoulders and the counters. If you're trying to box, you may get outboxed by Bobby Green based off the rolling shoulder and the counters. And plus, Bobby's got that back thing in his pocket called wrestling.
Yeah,
And he'll pull that shit out. He doesn't use it, but if he did pull it out here and there, he could pull it out here and there. He can wrestle. There's other guys in that weight class. I'm just throwing names out that that are right off the top of my head. I know there's other fighters in there that Max could beat. And I know there's other fighters in there that give Max a good go. But that division's stacked, just like 45 stacked. And I got to agree with John. Look, if you're able to go up and able to fight guys like Oliveira, then what makes you think that Volkanovski can't go up and fight those guys? He may already be there. He may already be in that talk. So they're just different body styles, and I know they match up well with each other, Volk and Max. But when they're fighting the heavier guys, they're gonna have to. One guy's gonna be able to beat. Yeah, something's gonna have to change. One of them is gonna be able to beat some of the guys, and the other one's gonna be able to beat some of the other guys. Yeah. So styles make matchups. Next.
Kodak asks, question for Josh and Big John. What are y'all's top 3 favorite combat sports movies of all time?
Combat
sports movies.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it. Well, look at number one is Rocky. It's got to be.
Is it really?
Oh my God! Come on, man. Yeah, classic. Rocky is definitely it for me.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God, yeah.
You think so?
Yes.
Let me see.
Let me see. What are you looking at?
No, I'm looking. I'm trying to think
of.
I'm trying to think. What do you consider combat? Like
boxing, MMA. I guess you can put wrestling. I'm gonna give you the
Vision
one.
Quest.
Yes, thank you very much. I was waiting for you to come up with one, but Vision Quest. I loved Vision Quest, and it was about wrestling. Matthew Modine.
That was filmed in Spokane, Washington.
It was great. Loved Vision Quest.
Right outside of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
So that's my second one. And third, well, you got to come up with one. I'm
best of the best. I said Vision Quest.
Best of the best. Really?
Best of the best of the best.
Best of the best.
Eric Roberts. It was very cheesy and corny, but it was
totally
fun.
Cheesy.
But it was fun. It was fun. Look, I'm in the Rocky business also. But when it comes to combat sports, I really liked Van Damme's Kickboxer, the first one. It was good. Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Bloodsport. I look at like the history. I look at, for me, if I was to put them all in order, I would say I would probably go Vision Quest. I'd probably go Bloodsport. Then I'd probably go maybe, and just being fair, because it's more my era of like when I was just coming up, probably Karate Kid, the first one. Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid. Best of the best towards the end. But I don't know if I don't know what I that's my era, man. Not all of us are 75 years old like you.
Okay, this is true, but
yes.
I'm gonna go my last one in no particular order, but Enter the Dragon. I loved it.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Gotta go with the history.
That was back in like 1973 or so, but that was.
Enter the Dragon was the mirror
awesome.
one, right? Where they were in the mirrrs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The one with the tiger claw. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I wanted to get it. When I was a kid, I'm going to get a tattoo like that, like Bruce Lee had it. That's right.
Yes, well,
as
soon as I saw the question and he reads it out, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go one with martial arts, one with wrestling, and then boxing being the other one. And
such a show off.
Nah,
gotta do it, baby. Gotta do it.
Hey, when you're that old,
you got a lot of movies to cover. There's been a lot of great movies. There's been a lot of really good boxing.
Which one?
Ones that you can go with.
Give me a good boxing one.
The Mickey Ward story that Mark Wahlberg did. He did a really good job with that. And
he did.
That was
that had Christian Bale in it.
Christian Bale did a fucking phenomenal job as Eklund.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, next.
All right. This might be the last one, depending on how good you answer it. The broken focus question for both: are there any current MMA fighters you think would benefit from turning heel? #AndStill.
Current MMA fighters that would.
He's already kind of done it, but I'd continue to say ALJO. Keep being the heel, dog. You're not. Yeah. No one really recognized you until you were the heel, so just stay being the heel. Him. Who else? I don't know. I want to see a good female heel. Like Ronda was a good female heel.
Yes, she was.
When Misha tried to shake her hand, she flipped her off. Like all those things were great, man. They were
Hold
great.
on, I thought that's why you did it. You didn't like that she did that.
I didn't like it,
you
that's
said it was
makes you a
great.
heel. It was great. It was like gave me a reason to watch her.
So you didn't like her?
To try to watch her get beat. Only when she fought Misha, I didn't like her.
Well,
I'm a Misha fan.
since you're saying that, Josh, I'll throw in this question I was going to throw in anyway. Jordan Diaz asked for both. If Juliana Pena defeats Amanda Nunes again, where does Nunes go from there? Will Juliana now be considered the best female fighter in the world? ? And I guess I would add to that. And so should she become the next big heel?
She should become the next big heel. She should. And then would she be the best female fighter? No. Valentina.
When you said the thing, I want to see a female right away. My first thought was Juliana Pena. Now Juliana's got it all. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She can fight.
Yeah.
She's got a mouth. She will fucking go after you and stuff.
Yeah. She's got a mouth like a sailor.
Oh yeah. And you look and you go, she's the perfect heel. Yeah. She's got the ability to be that person, and and the whole thing with being the heel is as long as you're winning, man, you'll just suck people in. It's when you can't back it up that becomes the problem.
Here's the thing. Also, John, when becoming the heel goes wrong is when you don't win and you don't win again, and then now you start taking everything that people say to heart.
Yeah.
When you were winning, you didn't care because you're like, whatever, I'm winning. I'm like your confidence is an all-time high. You can take what people have to say. When you start losing, you start believing what those people say, and then it gets into your head, and it's fucking you up mentally.
And it's the problem of if you're not that person. Most people aren't assholes. There are some, but personality-wise, most people are nice people. They like people to like them and stuff. You've got to be able to put up with people being nasty to you. And you've got to be able to turn it on even when you don't want to. It's very easy to be the good guy and to be nice to people all the time and stuff like that. It's tough to be the person that's got to turn on a specific personality that is really not part of who you are. That's not an easy thing to do, and only certain people can do it. It's not, it's not as easy as people think.
It's true. Give us one more.
All right, let's see here. Joe Kim asks, with there being so many issues with MMA judge scoring, why won't MMA orgs come together and create a singular scoring system for MMA fights?
We keep going over this.
Go ahead, Josh.
They didn't do a good job. Dude, the half-point scoring system is pretty much the only way to really... if you're going to change it at all, I think that'd be the way to go to make fights a little bit more close, because there's so many ways to judge these fights: wrestling, jiu-jitsu, grappling, judo, sambo, hip tops, all these things, striking, kickboxing, boxing. Like, there's so many different arts that they all get meshed in. They all get worked into this one sport. You have to make sure when fights are really close. Sure, like John talked about earlier, I can't give you points for stopping the punch or stopping the takedown, but I'll give you some points for the effort on trying to get the takedown on being offensive. But then you never got the takedown, but it was still the effort that we're giving you points for because it was offense. So you get a little bit of a half-point system. it makes the fights a lot closer. The opportunity to make sure that there's not as much controversy of me winning the round, and the round's so far out. Only 3 rounds. So half-point score system actually makes it a lot easier to get that round back than if I lost the round by a full point.
That's right.
If it was more rounds, then we could go with the 10-9 system. But since it's not more rounds and you lose 1 round, you got a lot of work to do. You got to win the next 2. And you got to win them cleanly, 10-9s, 10-9s. But if you have the half-point score system, you have a chance to get that round back in 1 round and then dominate the next round or make it close and win by a half point. Either way, it's a lot easier, I think, also to make sure people understand that the score was so close, the fight was so close. I only let him win by a half point because the fight was so close. It puts it more into perspective, I think, and I think that's the only way to really go. Open scoring is not the way to go. All this other bullshit people are talking about, changing the rules. Let's score it. I don't know. I just think the half point would be the way to go.
I'm going to make this as quick as I can, which is not easy to do. First off, we can't get the commissions themselves to come up with all of them following the same rule set everywhere. So there's your first problem. Second problem, you have promotions, especially your lead promotions. They don't want change. They can sit there and they can complain about stuff. They like complaining about it. They don't want change. So that in itself makes it very difficult for there to be change because those are your stakeholders in this sport. When they go, we don't want that, there you go. It doesn't matter how good a system you come up with. They don't want it. So you need to get, in my opinion, get rid of all the commissions having the ability to make a choice. Have one overriding association or body, same as the NFL, same as NHL, same as NBA, same as Major League Baseball. Whatever they say, that is what is followed no matter where the sport goes. They will make the changes. They will come up with the scoring system that will fit the sport. That's the way to go, and it will never happen.
So you want a dictatorship. Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
Next, moving on.
Of course.
All right, so go to WaynePodcast.com, pick us some of our merch. We got sweatshirts. We've got sweatshirts. Okay, we got hoodies. We've got
shirts.
short sleeve, long sleeve. We've got our OG logo. We also have a new 5-round main event shirt that is up, and it comes in all different colors. So click on the shirt. You'll see all the other colors that it comes in. We've got hashtag and still is still up there. And we also have hindsight is 50-50, which is the best Joshism that we have put on a t-shirt in history. But I have a better one. I want to do the definition of Joshism and just have all the Joshisms on there. So Dave, let's get on it, buddy. Let's get on that. Especially the one that says, I'll tell you the truth, or what, I don't know, something about lying to you and then telling you the truth.
I'll lie to you.
That was great. I can't even repeat it.
Till I tell with it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anybody, for everyone out there, thank you for tuning in. For our listener, Amanda, we hope you were listening there. We got a 5-round. You had to do it. And we want you to be good to someone. Take care of everyone around you. Be kind. And we will see you.